Have you seen any of these characters? Maybe in a short or a banner somewhere? Well, these characters belong to this show. And it's flippin' awesome. LEGO Monkie Kid is one of the most slept-on animated action series right now, in our day and age, in our generation, and I'm not even exaggerating. If you like any of the things I just slapped on the screen just now, like most people actually do who are watching content of this kind, this show should be way bigger than it actually is. So today, draw with me while I break down the plot, characters, villains, and the mythology angle, and a potential set for reasons why this show hasn't blown up yet. And why LEGO shows, in general, low-key overperform. So let's get into it. So for this video, I'm going to be giving a very vague overview of the plot and everything. I'm not going to really be going into major details unless I'm talking about specific character arcs and things that I feel like should be brought to the forefront for me to convince you to watch the show. This video is to convince you to watch this show, or go rewatch it, because it deserves that clout. Okay, so at its core, LEGO Monkie Kid is a modern retelling and a remix of Journey to the West, one of the most influential mythological stories in Chinese literature and honestly, media all over the world. Has anyone ever heard of Goku? Do you know who Goku is? That man is a ripoff of someone, not gonna say who. I don't know. You didn't hear it from me. I didn't tell anybody anything. Who are you people? Anyway, the story follows MK, a noodle shop delivery kid who accidentally becomes the successor to the Monkey King's staff and power, and from that moment forward, his life is never normal again. If you start watching this show, you will see that there's a theme. Nothing normal ever happens. The people aren't even normal. He gets pulled into hidden supernatural conflict involving ancient demons, celestial powers, legendary warriors, and world-ending threats, all hiding under the surface of a modern city. What I like about this show is that it wastes very little time. It doesn't drag its feet with the whole Chosen One denial for 12 episodes. MK steps up messily, but he does indeed step up. It's fast, loud, colorful, and mythic, but still very, very character-driven. And all of that actually quite very well plays into the fact that the show is meant for kids, but for anyone who doesn't really too much care for the whole, oh my god, I really am the chosen one. I have to sit on a rock and watch the sun go by for 3 freaking episodes instead of actually doing something about it. Then you'll enjoy MK's character. He's very much just, I'm gonna get this done for real. But no spoilers included. There is a time where he does start to express some, like, a little bit of hindrance within his journey, but that very well just comes in the form of character development, so it all just blends together in a way that seems very story and not so much filler. Alrighty, let's talk about character, because this is where the show punches above its weight class. MK is a great lead, because he's not written as naturally elite, he grows into competence. He's emotional, impulsive, but loyal and sometimes overwhelmed, which makes his victories feel earned. He's got that optimistic hero energy, you know, like the kind that I personally love. But the show doesn't treat optimism like instant power. He fails a lot and learns publicly. So we also have Mei here. Mei is not the girl on the team character. She's very much hands-on, driven, and gets meaningful arcs and power elements. However, I do feel like they can do a lot more with her character, because in my personal opinion, I feel like her and MK are almost on the same playing field when it comes to screen time, but I don't think they're getting the same treatment as characters. Then again, MK is naturally the quote-unquote main character, but I also very much feel like the whole team that he's with, they also get enough screen time to be, like, explored more. And I'll talk about that a little bit more later down when we talk about why the show hasn't blown up yet. But I do feel like they could use Mei even more, especially with her lineage and everything. No spoilers, no details at all. But if you watch it, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And if you've seen it, you'll probably agree with me. But yeah, she is allowed to be reckless and strong without being flattened into a stereotype of, like, the girl boss or the rough and tumble tomboy. And I really like that about her character. She's also feminine and still gets the job done. So now we have these 3, I wouldn't say background characters per se, but they're not as prominent as MK and Mei. We have Pigsy, Tang, and Sandy. Now, I will tell you, I like Pigsy a lot. Okay? He make food, and he's a pig, and he's fun. Tang, I don't know if I'm gonna get hate for this. I do not care for Tang's character. Like, high-key, he irritates me. High-key, he irritates me. Something about him, like, it's just like, oh, you need to go home. You need to pick up your things and you need to go sit on the couch and watch what's going on in this group from the television at home because you could die. But no spoilers. Again, his character does get leveled up in a way. All of the characters do wind up getting leveled up in a way. And that's what, for me, makes him worth still being on the team. But Tang, like, I don't know. I don't really care for his character. His character type is not my favorite. But if I rewatch the show right now, I'll probably find things about him that I really do like. I freaking love Sandy, though. Love me some Sandy. Not only is he voiced by Patrick Seitz, he's a big blue man. Like, what? Who thought about this? Whose character design idea was this? You ate with that, Hikey. But yeah, these three act as grounding adult figures, but they're not useless. I will definitely say none of these characters are useless per se. They contribute emotionally and strategically instead of just being background comedy. Now, they are funny all together as a group, absolutely, but they all serve their own individual purpose within the group, and they follow an archetype, which is actually very useful against MK, who is learning in his own way about being a better person and about achieving certain goals. Now, in my script, I did not put anything down for Sun Wukong. And that's because the way I will ramble about this man and not shut up 4 hours is embarrassing. I will just say, his character within the story is a kind of like a diluted child version of the original Monkey King. Absolutely, they did what they had to do with his character. I quite enjoy him. I like that his irresponsibility and his childish ways come back to bite him in the butt when he has to be a mentor. I love that. I love that for him, and I love the way they explore his past without lore vomiting at us. It's very fun. I love Wukong in this story. I love Wukong in Chinese mythology. He's very fun. Like, I wouldn't ever want to be in the same room as this individual, because some giant celestial elephant could come down and squash me to death. However, very fun to watch from afar. And again, the whole team's chemistry actually involves relationships, which change based on events instead of staying stagnant. Everyone has a way that they interact together. It doesn't seem like one character interaction could meld together if you removed their skin and had them talking. So if these characters were blank little Lego pieces and they were walking around being Legos and talking to each other with different voices, you'd be able to tell which characters were interacting based on dialogue, based on character acting, and based on just individual like words and phrasing. And it's good. I love that. I love when dialogue can differentiate character and you don't solely heavily rely on design or motifs. It comes down to creating a person and then slapping the skin on them. Okay, so let's talk about one of the most entertaining characters in the series, and probably my favorite character aside from Wukong. We've got Red Sun, because this man is just absolutely built different. Okay, so Red Sun is the child of the Demon Bull King and Princess Iron Fan. Mythology-wise, we're not going to question much here, but this is already setting the tone for his character. This man was born into a legacy of villainous energy. He's got fire powers, a royal demon bloodline, and an ego roughly the size of a small planet. But what makes him interesting isn't that he's powerful, it's more so that he is dramatically insecure. He's brilliant and emotional and super transparent about his emotions in a way that most villains aren't really, but it's so like villain coded in the best possible way. He's not evil in a cold mastermind sense. He's like evil in a sense like, why aren't you recognizing my genius? And I love that about him, because it can either make him a genuine threat or a joke, and most of the time he's a joke. But he's fun. He's not meant to be the main villain, and that's what makes him so compelling. So he definitely is just there because the creators were like, okay, so how do we create Vegeta in a different skin? He wants validation, he wants to prove himself, he wants to surpass expectations, especially those of his parents. Okay, so Red Sun has not a really complicated relationship with his parents, but it is one of the best character layers in the show for me, personally. His father, Demon Bull King, represents overwhelming legacy and expectation, strength, reputation, fear, and he sets those standards without even setting the standards. He's never told Red Sun, "You must be exactly like me, son." Red Sun set that standard for himself, and it's pressure he feels that he has to live up to. And then his mama. I like Princess Iron Fan a lot. I love her character. She's more emotionally expressive and supportive, but still very much a part of the villain world. She believes in her son, but like, high-key, believing in her son has made him a little egotistical beast, and I know, I mean, it's lovable for us as the viewers, but imagine, like, your MK and crew, and this sucker keeps showing up, or you keep pulling up on him accidentally, and it's just like, it's a fade on sight. Bro, I would be tired. I'd leave the group. I'd be like, y'all can handle this. Not for me. That freaking red freak showed up again. So with this powerful power couple dynamic, Red Sun grows up with huge expectations, genuine real raw power, emotional enablement, and a constant need to prove himself, which in my personal humble little girl opinion creates a villain who isn't just destructive, he's also performative, which is, if you've seen this video, one of my favorite villain types. Every entrance is a flex. Every attack is a statement. Even when he's turned into a joke mid-battle, you're not supposed to take him too seriously. But with his setup, with the way he's built, one day in the story, you absolutely could. He'd still have the little weirdo, freaky, weird kid swag, but you know, like, it would still be a threat. You know, he could be scary in the future. Now, Red Sun's relationships with the heroes, especially MK, is where things get very fun. I really do love the way these characters interact with each other. So, MK and Red Sun have kind of this parallel thing going on. They have a very similar kind of like father figure, want make proud, can make proud in future. I sure hope so. Red Sun definitely starts off as a rival antagonist, but not in the pure hatred way. It's more competitive, it's personal, it's very pride-based. He wants to beat them, but he also wants to be acknowledged by them, and over time that rivalry shifts into a reluctant cooperation during bigger threats. He'll team up with them when the stakes are too big, when threat insults his pride, or when the world is at risk in a way that personally affects him. And what I love about this trope is that I've seen it in my other many favorite characters. Okay, so we're gonna do some parallels real quick. World crossing. Travel with me to Dragon Ball. Okay, so Red Sun sits in the same archetype lane as Vegeta and Shadow the Hedgehog. The very prideful rival who sometimes joins the heroes but never fully stops being themselves. Like Vegeta, he's very pride-driven, royalty-coded legacy. He's got like this obsession with strength and recognition and will cooperate when necessary, but very much keeps the ego intact. You cannot have my ego. I'm not saying sorry for the past, but if it means we both get to live at the end, I mayhaps, maybe, just a little bit shake hands with you. However, like Shadow, Red Sun is also dramatic with his presentation. He's got that power-forward combat style. He's an emotionally reactive under that cool exterior kind of vibe. Red Sun isn't cool exterior vibe, but more so if you get past the already irritated angry, you might get the little bit of a soft, like, oh, he's cute. And of course, he's morally flexible depending on the situation. These characters don't switch sides. They shift alignment based on values and stakes. They're not redeemable puppies, they're very much independent forces, and I like that about Red Sun because I don't feel like one day he's just gonna be like, okay guys, so I'm gonna join your side, because that's what's the right things to do. The reason for me personally why Red Sun works so well is because he's dangerous but funny, arrogant but emotionally readable, villainous but not heartless, and theatrical but competent. Even if you feel like he's a joke, which most of the time he is, there is still that unbreakable confidence that he plays at maintaining that makes you root for his character very, very much. He brings chaotic energy, legacy pressure, and rival tension, and the occasional teamwork, which makes every appearance he's in feel like something is about to go wrong in the most entertaining way possible. And honestly, even every solid action series needs one of these characters. I live down for this character. Shadow is my favorite. Vegeta Haikyuu is my favorite Dragon Ball character when I was watching Dragon Ball. And it gives what it need to give. And with this character, the rival, of course, who could burn the whole world down or will help save it, really depends on the day. we're not really going to talk villains very much. I'm just going to put up a lot of villain information right here, because in knowing the villains, you can kind of somewhat, in a small way, predict some of the story arcs. And I want you to go in with a fresh eyeball, a fresh set of 3 eyes. You need 3 of them joints. You need the 2 in the front, you need the 1 on the forehead to really see beyond the veil. But yeah, quick villain overview. Monkey Kid villains are consistently theatrical and dangerous. I love that about all of them. Demon Bull King, Princess Iron Fan, Lady Bone Demon, the other guy, this dude, that guy right there. And they all follow this specific archetype of, we here and we gonna do it. We did not come to play. There is no playing. There's no playground. There's no jungle gym. There's no gymnasium. There is no apparatus. There is no playing happening here. And even within the constraints of the world, in which it seems like there could be a lot of playing, considering that it's based on Journey to the West, everything feels very much high stakes. And I love that about the villains, because what makes them work for me personally is that they monologue, they posture, they scheme. They have a very, very, very unique visual identity and emotional values that aren't just destroy the world exe. And even if that is the case for 1 or 2 of them, it feels like tangible in a way. Like, yeah, I'd want to destroy the world too. So yeah, the fights. The fights, they're staged like boss battles. Like no filler conflicts, nothing. They're just like, they happen. It's fight, it's beat for beat. This is what's going on. And that strength might actually come from the fact that a lot of LEGO shows come with the expectation of selling toys. Here's a segue into the next segment. So, because LEGO characters aren't just designed to look cool on screen, they're designed to exist as physical objects in your hands, and that changes everything about how they're built. Every strong LEGO character has to pass a final instant read test. Can you recognize them by silhouette? Can you recognize them by color palette? Do they have a signature prop or weapon? Do they have a strong visual theme? That design philosophy forces clarity and boldness. You don't get muddy, overcomplicated costumes, you get strong shapes, high contrast colors, clear motifs, and memorable gear. And Monkey Kid leans all the way into this. Heroes and villains alike have symbolic color coding, myth-inspired accessories, distinct weapons, iconic hair and headgear, form-based power effects that could definitely be turned into small props for the LEGO characters to hold. What is extremely fascinating to me personally is that designing for toys actually helps improve storytelling design, because when a character is built to be collectible, they must also be recognizable, marketable, distinct in personality, and visually communicative. Which is why LEGO has been able to charm kids and adults, grown people, grown big people at big ages collecting Legos for decades through their shows. And you're not just watching characters, you're watching figures that feel legendary enough to own. And when that design discipline gets paired with strong animation and mythic storytelling, like in Monkey Kid, you get a cast where almost every character feels iconic instead of disposable. So, if good, why not everywhere? I've gathered a few reasons, and theorized a few myself, but none of these are concrete or confirmed. However, looking at the state of the toy industry and the state of television right now, you can only assume that a few of these things could possibly be the exact reason why. Reason number 1, LEGO's brand bias. A lot of people assume that LEGO shows are automatically just for kids and never even try to watch them. Here's the thought process I believe most people fall under. Say, me personally, I grew up watching Ninjago because my cousin put it on one day and forced us to watch all 4 seasons. It's something I watch occasionally for nostalgia, but I don't actively go out seeking other LEGO shows because, well, it's just stuff for kids, right? I only still cling to Ninjago because of the nostalgia. However, the show is still very stupidly entertaining as an adult. Reason number 2, distribution inconsistency. Release times and platform visibility haven't always been great, which kills momentum. I think all of the whole seasons are on Peacock right now, but the movies are all on Amazon TV. And a lot of that comes down to the fact that this show isn't produced in America, isn't made in America. It's a Chinese show, so we get it. They do all the animations to dub over the lips and everything, and it's distributed here. But I had a conversation with my friend one night, and this conversation will come back up again when we consider the reasons why again. And that night, we were just talking about LEGO Monkie Kid. She was yapping at me about her favorite stuff and just yapping, just going at it. I'm like, yes, my queen, speak. I love to hear the ice voice. But yeah, we were just talking about how much work you would have to go through to get this Chinese show to look, like the lips are reading well and everything in America. Why would you put in all of this work only to do it such a disservice by not having it be anywhere that most people have subscriptions for? What she said is that LEGO Monkie Kid would be a perfect Netflix show, and I entirely agree with that. I can see the pacing and everything. It works so well. It would blow up if it was on Netflix. It's like when they, I think Netflix got the little bit of a licensing from Nickelodeon or whatever the heck happened for them to have Avatar on Netflix. And everybody and their mama was saying they watched Avatar. And I know dang well you over here watching Zack and Cody was not over here watching Avatar. I know you were watching them big people shows, so don't come over here and play with me. But anyway, people really got tipped to Avatar again and fell down the nostalgic rabbit hole. So if this show was on Netflix, and if the release times were good, and everything was well, I can only assume how much bigger this show would be. But distribution inconsistency has very much failed LEGO Monkie Kid, in my personal humble opinion, and my friend Itsy Bitsy agrees with me. Reason 3. The anime overshadow effect. Anime is very big now. Plenty of people watch anime. We've got celebrities, CEOs, Olympic people just be referencing anime. And it's taken a while for us to get here, but I feel like anime is one of the biggest things in the world right now. And LEGO Monkie Kid is kind of being crushed by that, in my personal humble researched opinion. So, let me just explain something real quick. I feel like LEGO Monkie Kid completes the visual and tonal vibe that anime has. They're very, very similar in very many ways. I see references to how certain things are animated and things like that, but it doesn't get filed under anime, so it gets pushed off into like this Sideshow Bob area. Like, you could be a villain, but you're not really, and you didn't quite make it there yet, but you're not a hero. So what's going on? Where do we place you? And I feel like this show suffers from that because it hasn't been categorized. It's only under kids. And what grown adult is going to go into the section of a stream profile and pick kids? Unless they've got kids that they want to put TV on for, or they like kids' TV. So in a way, I feel like anime kind of overshadows LEGO Monkie Kid, and they don't get piled together because of, one, I believe, again, comes back to two, which is the distribution inconsistency and where it's being placed on streaming services, and also the whole being a kid's show thing. So, moving on. Reason 4. There is a clip culture problem we have in this world. People can only really commit to a show, I've been noticing, if they've seen it somewhere on social media. And now, I will not say that that's a problem, because social media will get plenty of stories out to new people through advertisements and somebody mentioning it online, aka this video. But there is this situation I've noticed that happens a lot, especially with like daytime TV, where people will be like, oh yeah, I started watching The Rookie because I saw the Rookie clips. Or I actually started and sat down watching all of Criminal Minds because there was a short I saw on YouTube. And you know what? That's not a bad thing, but there's certain parts in LEGO Monkie Kid that aren't enticing enough if you've only seen 5 seconds of it. But I will say it also is flip side, because there are plenty of pieces in the show that are perfect for clip culture. But I don't think we LEGO Monkie Kid watchers are going out and clipping LEGO Monkie Kid and showing people that. And I believe that when you put LEGO Monkie Kid on YouTube, it gets labeled as kids content. But yeah, shows blow up now through short clips, and LEGO Monkie Kid clips haven't saturated social media feeds the same way other series have, which is unfortunate because the animation quality deserves clip level virality. Editing Mocha here. After a 3 a.m. call with my friend Itsy, in which she was yapping to me about LEGO Monkie Kid, she told me that there might be another super secret high security level reason for why the show performs low and less positively than others, which she came across this Reddit post I believe is worth mentioning in this segment. I shall put it up here for you to read. There is a curse word in it, and I will bleep that out for the eye's sake of my oldest sister and my grandma who might see this. Zooming out, LEGO animated shows actually perform very well, which is crazy. But they perform well within the constraints of being kids' television. And I don't know if LEGO Monkie Kid isn't resonating well with children of the yore, but I feel like it would, if it was easily accessible. I don't know too many people who have a Peacock subscription. I only have one because I wanted to watch Supernatural. And then I figured out LEGO Monkie Kid was on there, and oh shoot, I'm paying that $16.95 every month. But in the past, why LEGO shows have worked so well is because they commit to stylization. They don't chase realism, they chase energy, and people and kids and all kinds of freaky creatures love that. And energy of a show makes it what it is. And that really contributes to the style and the characters and the way that they move. Everything is so well done. Also, they understand toyetic action design. Weapons, powers, vehicles, transformations, all visually readable and memorable. They allow tone flexibility. They design for the movement within the show. LEGO animation teams often prioritize fight choreography and camera motion, which keeps scenes dynamic and not stiff. When LEGO shows go hard, they go hard. LEGO Monkie Kid is not an exception to this. So why isn't it popular? So yeah, as a comic creator and story nerd, I really respect the show's balance. It balances style, myth, character growth, and spectacle. LEGO Monkie Kid understands escalation, visual identity, and character-driven stakes, which is exactly what long-form action storytelling needs. It's not even just good for a kid's show, it's just a darn good show. I do have some gripes with the story sometimes. I do think that things are wrapped up a little too quickly, and I think that this happens more so within the case that you're not watching the movies. The movies are kind of like season finales, and you have to watch the movies in order to move on to the next episode for the next season. And that's a little bit crazy to me, because imagine you don't have an Amazon account and you can't go watch these movies. I'm not saying to pirate anything, but please watch this show. Anyways, that's all I have for today. I do hope that this convinced you to watch LEGO Monkie Kid, and if you have watched it, tell me your favorite villain, or your favorite arc, or your favorite thing about the show. If you haven't, this is your sign to try it. I didn't go into crazy detail with anything plot related or too much character based because I'm really hoping you'll go and watch it! And if you like story breakdowns, character analysis, and world building talk while we draw together, that's a big part of what I do here on my channel, so, tap back in, maybe drop me a like, maybe drop me a comment, subscribe maybe. Come on, baby girl, you know you want to. I do all of these things while also building my own personal comic universe, so to close, stay creative, stay safe, and have a blessed rest of your day, my friends. I'll see you in the next one.